world is changing faster than most people can understand. Every day, artificial intelligence is getting smarter. It writes, it speaks, it creates videos, it replaces workers. And while millions of people are wasting time scrolling social media, someone else is using AI to build wealth, automate businesses, and create freedom. This is no longer the future. This is happening right now. The scary truth is simple. AI will either make you rich or replace you completely. And the difference between those two outcomes depends on what you decide to do today. Most people think AI is just another trend. They laugh at it, ignore it, fear it. They say, technology always changes. But they fail to realize something important. Every major technological shift created two groups of people. The people who adapted and became powerful, and the people who stayed comfortable and became irrelevant. When cars replaced horses, some people built empires. Others lost their jobs forever. When the internet exploded, some people became millionaires from their bedrooms. Others kept saying, this online thing won't last. Now history is repeating itself with artificial intelligence. Look around you. Companies are replacing customer support with AI. Content creators are using AI to write faster. Businesses are automating tasks that once required entire teams. Even students are using AI to learn skills in months instead of years. This is not science fiction anymore. The person who understands AI today has the same advantage internet users had in the early 2000s. And while most people are distracted, lazy, and addicted to comfort, a small group is quietly preparing to dominate the next decade. The question is, which group are you in? Because the brutal reality is this: hard work alone is no longer enough. For years, people were told the same formula. Go to school, get a degree, work hard, stay loyal to one company. But now, AI can perform many jobs faster than humans, cheaper than humans, and sometimes even better than humans. That should wake you up. You cannot survive in the future by being average. Average workers are the first to get replaced. The world rewards people who can adapt quickly, people who learn valuable skills, people who use technology instead of fearing it. And that's where opportunity lives. See, AI is not your enemy. Your mindset is the enemy. Most people hear about AI and immediately panic. What if it takes my job? What if humans become useless? What if I can't compete? Wrong questions. The better question is, how can I use AI before everyone else does? Because winners ask powerful questions. Imagine having an assistant that works 24 hours a day. An assistant that helps you write content, build businesses, learn skills, generate ideas, analyze data, and save time. That's what AI is. The problem is most people use powerful tools for weak purposes. They use AI for entertainment instead of education. They use AI to waste time instead of making money. And then they complain when life becomes harder. Listen carefully. The future belongs to people who combine human discipline with artificial intelligence. AI without discipline is useless. Discipline without adaptation is dangerous. But when you combine both, you become unstoppable. Think about it. One focused individual with AI can now compete against entire companies. A teenager with a laptop can build a brand. A creator can produce content faster than ever. A business owner can automate systems that once cost thousands of dollars. This is the greatest opportunity our generation has ever seen. But opportunities mean nothing to people addicted to excuses. Some people are waiting for permission. Others are already building their future. Some people are debating whether AI is dangerous. Others are using it to create income every single day. The gap between winners and losers is about to become massive. And the craziest part? Most people still don't see it coming. They are distracted by comfort. Comfort is expensive. Comfort makes you slow. Comfort makes you blind while the world evolves around you. You say you want financial freedom, but you spend hours consuming useless content instead of learning modern skills. You say you want success, but you refuse to adapt. You say you want a better future, but you keep living with outdated habits. The future does not care about your excuses. The market only rewards value. So ask yourself honestly, what value will you bring in an AI-powered world? Because low-value skills are disappearing fast. If your only skill can be automated, your income can be automated too. That's why this is your wake-up call. You do not need to become a programmer overnight. You do not need millions of dollars. You do not need perfect conditions. But you do need urgency. You need discipline. You need the hunger to learn while everyone else stays distracted. The people who win in the AI era will not necessarily be the smartest people. They will be the fastest learners, the most adaptable, the most relentless. And while weak people complain about change, strong people use change as fuel. Right now, someone is using AI to build a business. Someone is using AI to create content. Someone is using AI to save thousands of hours. Someone is using AI to escape poverty. Why not you? This moment can either become your biggest opportunity or your biggest regret. Years from now, people will look back at this era and say one of two things. I adapted early and changed my life forever. Or I ignored the opportunity and got left behind. You still have time, but not forever, because AI is moving forward with or without you. And every single day you delay learning, someone else gets ahead. The future is already here. Now the only question left is this. Will AI make you rich or replace you? Most people think success disappears because of bad luck, but the truth is much darker than that. Success disappears when people refuse to evolve. And right now, millions of people are making the same deadly mistake. They're watching the world transform while pretending everything will stay the same. But nothing stays the same. The weak wait for certainty. The strong prepare before everyone else understands what's happening. That is why the next few years will create some of the richest individuals the world has ever seen, and also some of the most financially destroyed people we've ever witnessed. Because artificial intelligence is not just changing jobs, it's changing power. The people who know how to use AI will move faster, think faster, create faster, and earn faster. Meanwhile, the people who ignore will slowly become invisible. And here's the dangerous part. Replacement does not happen overnight. At first, you won't notice it. Your paycheck still comes. Your routine still feels normal. Your comfort zone still feels safe. But then suddenly, companies begin cutting employees. Businesses begin automating systems. Employers begin demanding more skills for less pay. Competition becomes brutal. And the people who never prepared start panicking. By then, it's already too late. That's why winners move early. The average person waits until pain forces them to change. But champions change before pain arrives. Think about the people who became wealthy during the rise of the internet. Most of them were not geniuses. They simply understood one thing earlier than everyone else. Technology rewards speed. While everyone else doubted online businesses, they started building. While everyone else laughed at content creation, they built audiences. While everyone else stayed comfortable, they learned valuable skills. And now the exact same opportunity exists again with AI. But this generation has a serious problem. People want success without discomfort. They want millions without discipline. They want freedom without sacrifice. And that mindset guarantees failure. Because the future belongs to those willing to struggle today. Right now. There are teenagers learning AI tools every single night, while others spend 6 hours scrolling meaningless videos. There are entrepreneurs automating businesses, while lazy people complain that life is unfair. There are creators producing 10 times more content using AI, while average people waste time arguing online. The gap is growing every day. You cannot afford to stay average anymore. Average thinking creates average income. Average habits create average lives. And average people always get replaced first. That's why this moment demands urgency. You need to stop thinking like a consumer and start thinking like an owner. Consumers ask, what can entertain me? Owners ask, what can build my future? Consumers waste technology. Owners leverage technology. That difference changes everything. Imagine two people starting from the same position today. One spends the next year distracting himself, avoiding change and making excuses. The other spends 1 year learning AI, improving communication skills, building content, studying business, and adapting to new economy. Fast forward 5 years. Do you think their lives will look the same? Absolutely not. One becomes dependent. The other becomes dangerous. And understand this clearly. Dangerous people are not violent people. Dangerous people are valuable people, people with skills, people with discipline, people who can solve problems, people who know how to adapt under pressure. That is the kind of person the future rewards. See, AI is not removing the need for humans. It is removing the need for lazy humans. That truth hurts people because many have built their entire identity around comfort. They avoid learning because learning feels difficult. They avoid risk because risk feels uncomfortable. They avoid change because change exposes weakness. But growth has always been painful. Every level of success requires a new version of yourself. The old version of you cannot survive in the new world. That's why you must evolve mentally before you evolve financially. A powerful mindset is becoming more valuable than ever before, because in an AI-powered world, information is everywhere. Execution is rare. Everybody can access tools now, but very few people have the discipline to use them consistently. And consistency is where winners separate themselves. Most people quit too early. They learn one skill for 3 days and stop. They start one project and disappear. They fail once and lose confidence. Meanwhile, disciplined people keep moving even when nobody believes in them. That's the mindset you need now, because AI can give you tools, but it cannot give you hunger. AI can help you create, but it cannot replace your work ethic. AI can increase your speed, but it cannot replace your discipline. And discipline will become one of the rarest qualities in the modern world. Why? Because distractions are everywhere. People are addicted to dopamine, short videos, notifications, entertainment, excuses. Weak habits are destroying strong futures every single day. And while distracted people slowly lose opportunities, focused people are quietly building empires. You need to understand something important. The future economy will reward creators, thinkers, communicators, leaders, and adaptable problem solvers. Not people who memorize information. Not people who depend on one outdated skill forever. The people who survive and dominate will be lifelong learners. That means your education cannot stop when school ends. In fact, real education begins when school ends, because schools teach you how to follow instructions. But the real world rewards people who can think independently, and AI is exposing that reality faster than ever. The people making excuses today will blame AI tomorrow, but the truth is they ignored the warning signs. They chose comfort over preparation, entertainment over education, fear over action. Do not make that mistake. This is your moment to transform yourself. Learn skills, study communication, understand technology, build discipline, master your attention, because attention is becoming one of the most valuable currencies on earth. The people who control their focus will control their future, and the people who stay distracted will become victims of the future they refuse to prepare for. Years from now, nobody will care how scared you were. There is one thing more dangerous than artificial intelligence: a human being with no purpose. Because when people lose purpose, they become weak. They stop learning. They stop growing. They stop fighting for a better future. And in a world moving this fast, weakness becomes expensive. That's why so many people will struggle in the AI era. Not because AI is too powerful, but because they became too comfortable. Comfort has destroyed more dreams than failure ever will. People wake up every day and repeat the same habits that keep them broke, distracted, and average. They tell themselves they'll change tomorrow. They say they'll learn new skills later. They promise themselves they'll take life seriously someday. But someday never comes. And while they delay their future, somebody else is taking action. Somebody else is learning AI. Somebody else is building a business. Somebody else is creating opportunities. That is the brutal truth about success. The world belongs to people who move first. Fear keeps average people frozen. But action creates momentum. You do not need to know everything before you begin. Most successful people started confused. They started scared. They started with limited resources. But they started anyway. That's the difference. The future will reward execution more than perfection. Right now, too many people are waiting for perfect timing while their opportunities disappear. Listen carefully. Your phone can either become your greatest weapon or your greatest distraction. One person uses technology to waste 6 hours a day. Another person uses the same technology to change their entire life. Same device, different mindset. And mindset changes everything. If you believe AI is only a threat, you will always operate from fear. But if you see AI as leverage, you begin to understand the opportunity in front of you. Imagine multiplying your productivity. Imagine learning faster than ever before. Imagine creating content, building brands, starting businesses, and developing skills at speed previous generations could never imagine. That is the power available right now. But power means nothing without discipline. A lazy person with powerful tools is still lazy. That's why discipline is becoming a superpower. While most people are distracted, disciplined individuals are gaining years of advantage. Every hour matters now. Every skill matters now. Every decision matters now. Because this new world moves fast. And if you move slowly, life will humble you brutally. The scary part is that many people still think someone is coming to save them. No one is coming. No government. No employer. No miracle. You must save yourself. You must build yourself. You must become valuable. Because valuable people always find opportunities, no matter how hard the economy becomes. That's why you need to stop asking, what if AI replaces me? Instead ask, how can I become impossible to ignore? Become the person who adapts quickly. Become the person who learns constantly. Become the person who brings energy, ideas, leadership, and creativity into every room. Machines can automate tasks, but they cannot replace a powerful human spirit. They cannot replace courage. They cannot replace vision. And they cannot replace relentless hunger. The people who dominate the future will combine human intensity with artificial intelligence. That combination will be unstoppable. But weak people will never understand this because weak people always search for shortcuts. Strong people build habits. Weak people blame technology. Strong people master technology. Weak people fear change. Strong people become change. So the choice is yours. You can spend the next few years complaining, doubting yourself, and staying comfortable while the world passes you by. Or you can rise up, adapt, and become part of the small group that takes control of the future. Because whether you accept it or not, the world is changing. And the people who refuse to change with it will disappear financially, mentally, and professionally. This is your warning. This is your opportunity. And this may be the most important moment of your life. AI is not waiting for anyone. Neither should you. One day, people will look back at this era and realize it was a turning point in an entire generation. The moment everything changed. The moment technology separated the fearless from the comfortable. The moment ordinary people either evolved or became irrelevant. And years from now, you'll either be proud that you adapted early or haunted by the fact that you waited too long. Because time is the one thing you never get back. Right now, somebody's taking action while others are making excuses. Somebody is learning skills while others are wasting hours every day. Somebody is building freedom while others are building regret. The future is being created in real time. And whether you participate or not, it is moving forward without mercy. That is why your mindset matters more now than ever before. If you think like a victim, you will fear every change. If you think like a leader, you will find opportunity in every change. That's the difference between people who survive and people who dominate. See, AI is not the end of humanity. It is the end of mediocrity. The world no longer rewards people simply for showing up. It rewards speed, creativity, adaptability, discipline, execution. The people who develop those qualities will thrive no matter what technology becomes. But weak minds will continue searching for comfort. And comfort is dangerous because it feels safe while silently destroying your future. Every hour wasted today becomes pain tomorrow. Every excuse repeated today becomes regret tomorrow. And every moment you avoid growth, somebody else gains an advantage over you. That is why you must become obsessed with improvement, not motivated for one day, not inspired for 1 week. Obsessed because average effort creates average lives, and average lives are becoming harder to survive. You need to train your mind to operate differently from the crowd. While others consume, you create. While others complain, you adapt. While others fear AI, You learn how to master it. That mindset alone can change your entire bloodline. Imagine what happens when a disciplined human being gains access to tools that increase productivity, creativity, and knowledge faster than ever before. That person becomes unstoppable. And you do not need to be born rich to become powerful in this era. You simply need hunger. The hunger to improve. The hunger to learn. The hunger to outwork the weaker version of yourself every single day. Because at the end of the day, your biggest competition is not artificial intelligence. Your biggest competition is your own laziness, your own distractions, your own excuses. Defeat those things, and your life changes forever. The future belongs to people who move with urgency, people who understand that learning is survival, people who refuse to stay average. And understand this clearly. You still have time right now. That is your advantage. Most people are still asleep. Most people are still doubting. Most people are still distracted, which means the opportunity is still massive for those willing to act immediately. But eventually, the gap will become too large. The people who adapted early will be miles ahead financially, mentally, and professionally. And the people who ignored the warning signs will spend years trying to catch up. Do not let that become your story. This is your moment to decide who you become. Will you become another victim of change? Or will you become one of the few people strong enough to use change as fuel? Because history always rewards those who move before the crowd understands. And right now, the crowd is still sleeping. So wake up, learn aggressively, work relentlessly, build discipline, master technology, and create a version of yourself that the future cannot replace. Because in the end, AI will do one thing very clearly. It will expose who is serious about success and who is only talking about it.